What happens when you throw a massive political rally on the National Mall, disguise it as a nostalgic music festival, and forget to tell the headliners who's actually running the show? You get the single biggest PR disaster of the week. Right now, Donald Trump's administration is facing a massive cultural walkout. A highly publicized event, dubbed the Great American State Fair, part of a massive Freedom 250 celebration, is falling apart at the seams. Within 24 hours of the lineup being announced, a huge chunk of the marquee artists publicly severed ties. They claim they were completely in the dark about the event's political nature, and they are refusing to be used as background props for a political agenda. Today, we are digging into the collapse of this heavily hyped fair, the explosive viral video from a 90s hip-hop legend who absolutely torched the organizers, and what this entire fiasco reveals about the dangerous merging of government propaganda and the arts. Let's get into it. The premise was simple: a massive 6-day celebration kicking off in late June on the National Mall. To draw a crowd, organizers promised a heavy-hitting lineup of throwback superstars Martina McBride, the Commodores, Vanilla Ice, Young MC, Morris Day and the Time, and C+C Music Factory. But the execution was a complete train wreck. The moment the White House blasted out these names, the artists themselves hit the panic button. It turns out the booking agents were pitched a generic freedom celebration. The political affiliation was seemingly buried or entirely omitted. Morris Day and the Time immediately fired back, stating, "Contrary to the rumor, Morris Day and the Time will not be performing at the Great American State Fair." Young MC followed suit, making his boundaries crystal clear. The artists were never told about the political connection. "I hope to perform in DC at an event that is truly non-political." Event organizers, specifically Freedom 250 CEO Keith Crack, tried to do damage control, claiming the event is strictly non-partisan. But let's be real, this organization was created by Donald Trump. It's being held alongside the bizarre construction of a UFC arena on the White House lawn, and it's meant to serve as a backdrop for the administration. There is nothing non-partisan about it. While some artists issued polite PR statements, others took the gloves off. Enter Freedom Williams, the frontman of C+C Music Factory. When fans and friends started bombarding his phone, furious that he was allegedly playing a Trump rally, Williams was completely bewildered. He posted a video online explaining that his agent had booked a standard DC gig 3 months prior, with absolutely zero mention of Donald Trump. Once he realized what the Freedom 250 actually was, he didn't just cancel his appearance, he delivered a scathing rebuke of the administration's tactics. He stated unequivocally that he doesn't support Trump and despises the anarchy he creates. But the most powerful moment of his video was his outright refusal to be manipulated. "The day I let you mother-timesers tell me what to do is the day I die. I want to make that crystal clear." This is the core of the backlash. It's not just about differing political views, it's about consent. These artists feel they were tricked into providing cultural cover for an administration they want nothing to do with. This bait-and-switch tactic is not an isolated incident. We saw the exact same playbook used to dismantle the Kennedy Center. To understand why this is so dangerous, we have to look at the historical relationship between the government and the arts. Traditionally, there has always been a strict firewall. The government provides the venue or the funding, but they do not dictate the message. Under the Trump administration, that firewall was actively demolished. Former National Symphony curator Ben Folds recently spoke out about this, describing what happened as an authoritarian first step. According to Folds, the administration cleared out bipartisan boards and installed loyalists. Suddenly, political operatives had their hands on the scales, deciding who got to speak, who got to perform, and what art was deemed acceptable. It created an environment so toxic that major acts from the Washington National Opera to the Martha Graham Dance Company quit in protest. Folds realized that, as a curator, he could no longer guarantee the safety or the freedom of expression of his artists. When the arts are commandeered by the state, they stop being art. They become state-sponsored propaganda. And when the musicians walk away, the administration simply pivots to athlete. Recently, New York Giants quarterback Jackson Dart introduced Trump at a rally. Dart, who has a history of interacting with right-wing social media posts regarding mass deportations, faced massive backlash. The defense is almost always, "It's an honor just to be there. I'm not being political." But when you are standing at a podium introducing a candidate, you are absolutely being political. You are functioning as a visual endorsement. We saw this peak in absurdity when Trump hosted the Indiana Hoosiers college football team. Instead of honoring their athletic achievements, Trump used the captive audience of young athletes to go on a bizarre tangent about a ballroom he was building. "We're going to give them the greatest ballroom anywhere in the country. I'm very good at ballrooms. It's completely unhinged." He uses these teams and these artists to simulate cultural relevance and normalcy, all while pushing an incredibly divisive agenda. What the collapse of the Freedom 250 lineup shows us is that people are finally recognizing the trap. You cannot passively participate in an event run by a hyper-partisan administration and expect to escape with your reputation intact. The musicians figured it out and walked away. The firewall is broken, but the cultural pushback has officially begun. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe to keep up with our coverage, and I will see you all in the next report.